Hi lovely friends, welcome back to Tarot AF. So today I have another pick a card reading for you all on what they wish that you knew. So today what we're going to do is through tarot and also oracle cards, we're going to get a channeled message for the person that you would like. So whilst I'm shuffling the cards, please have that person in your mind. If you kind of want to leave it open and maybe you're drawn to multiple piles, maybe there's someone that you may not have thought to ask that may have a message for you that comes through. So if you feel like maybe when I'm reading the pile, it may not be the person that necessarily you asked for, but you may know who that is, and you're interested, you can always carry on. But sometimes the person that you're asking for specifically, if no pile is feeling right, maybe there's not a pile for you, no message for you this time. So don't be discouraged in that way. If the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. Like, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. So today we have 5 piles ready and waiting. We have pile 1 with the Lunar Soleil tarot deck and the Tiger's Eye. We have pile 2 with the Friends TV show tarot and the Amazonite Petal. We also have the Guided Hand tarot and the Moonstone. We have the Marigold Tarot and the Red Jasper, and we have the Ethereal Visions tarot deck and the Labradorite. So what you can do, you can take a moment, you can pause the video, you can see which pile is drawing your eye. Maybe there are multiple, and what I do is I post the times in the box below and you can skip ahead there to your reading. I'll see you then. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 1. So if you picked the Lunar Soleil tarot deck and also the Tiger's Eye, then this reading is going to be for you. So let's go straight ahead and shuffle your tarot cards for this reading for what they wish you knew. So whilst I'm shuffling, if you have a specific person in mind, please hold that person in your mind whilst I'm shuffling. If you don't and you're just here for the ride, or you felt drawn to this pile, then welcome, and I will channel for you for pile 1. Spirit, let's just give these another good old breaking shuffle. Great. Okay, let's get going. So what is it that this person wishes that pile 1 knew? So we firstly have the 8 of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. What is it, this person? We have the King of Wands as well. We have Death that's turned over. We have 7 of Wands, and one more card, please, and the 3 of Wands 2. And then on the back we have the Moon as well. And then I'll grab your oracle cards. We have wait, patience, events are still unfolding, hold back, rest, observe. We have regret, I know that I cannot change the past. We have suppression of star being by hands of unworthy. We have healing through rest. We have paradox, and we also have stillness, lack of movement. So I feel like for you guys, this person to you may have been someone that you are currently separated from or not in a no contact situation with. There is loss here and regret from a past situation that has happened. That maybe there was this, there feels like there's confusion and lack of, like, that stillness, that lack of movement, but also that lack of clarity about almost who this person is or why they did the things that they did. And I feel like their actions had a knock-on effect on you in terms of potentially hurting you. Or if they didn't necessarily do that and it's almost like they've just gone cold, like things have just frozen over in this kind of stillness, and it's like not really sure, but it feels like they're battling their own demons, and that's all an effect from their past. So something that they did in their past almost caught up to them. And it was at that point where nothing could almost stop it. No crystal ball, no seer could stop what was almost happening, as it were. Like the swiftness, and almost maybe it was even the swiftness that they were in your life was so quick, or yeah, with this weight, it's like pause. Something on pause. Like they press that tape, and that paradox, that lost feeling, there's almost all that hope that was being drummed up in them as well, for maybe what this connection was going to be or could still be. But there feels like there's just that loss now. So maybe they're healing through something, healing through for some people, like I said, maybe there's separation or a breakup here, or a change in the relationship in some way, maybe taking time apart to heal from things that have been said or done, or the feeling of being suppressed, maybe if there wasn't that kind of growth. But I really get this sense that there's a lack of movement now within this connection because other things have been kicked up. And this person, I feel like, feels like they've thrown you in to your head, that you are experiencing this kind of, this lack of clarity, and this feeling that you are fighting almost things on your own, and you don't really know which way to turn in a lot of ways. And you're just kind of, I feel like with this timer here as well, with this paint and this, with this patience and this weight card, that you are trying to gain this higher perspective of this situation and almost wait it out and heal. Or maybe they see you doing that and they don't want to, because of what they've done in the past potentially to you, they don't want to hinder your growth or to stop you from healing what you need to heal. Or maybe they are hoping as well that you are waiting and that you are watching from afar. But there's, with this King of Wands, there's this kind of feeling of powerlessness, that they can't come forward and instigate anything that they almost want to, because they've got to deal with this close of chapter. They've got to deal with this thing that maybe they put off doing, something that was eating up at them at the side. And this is a close of chapter, something that they've had to go and do, that was always going to come and creep up on them, and they could voluntarily go and deal with it, or involuntarily was going to come and creep up on them. But it just feels like they're fighting fires, and there's this sense of, I'm coming back, is what I'm hearing. With this Three of Wands, it's like this kind of, I'm looking out onto the horizon, I'm getting my stuff in order. Timing has skewed up the situation. I don't know when this ship's coming in, but I'm there. I'm actively waiting for things to fall into place. And I'm trying to almost, there's so many hands, and obviously I'm jazz handing it up here as well, but there's this card that I'm thinking of which is coming to my mind, which is a make card, which is loads of hands all together. And it's like juggling plates. I've got to do this, and then I've got to do that, and then I can zip over here, and then I'm going to be free, and I'm going to be there. And voila, that's it. And it feels like there's this kind of bish bash job kind of energy around that, and actually maybe nothing is actually being done. Like no action is a form of action. Like maybe they say, oh, things are all coming together, things are on their way, but maybe you've just been waiting. Maybe you've been there trying to gain a perspective of it, trying to heal, or even trying to move on. Maybe you've tried to move away, and maybe this person feels that you're slipping in some respect. But this person knows, and this is, I think, the frustrating part here, the frustrating part of this cycle, is this person knows that they have got to deal with these things that are coming up for them, that they've got to sort out the stuff that they've been neglecting, the stuff that is having a knock-on effect. And actually, if they kind of stood up and started like attacking them head on, they'd realize that they actually had the vantage point and they could actually move through this. And actually, if they kind of accepted the natural change of the way things were, and that they've just got to deal with it. They've got to deal with this thing that's coming up. But it's like they're in this own kind of self-deception wheel, as it were. And I think maybe you decided to take a step away from this person, or maybe you mutually decided to, until this person sorted out their stuff, decided to take that break. But there's this feeling that they don't know with this moon card. There's these things that are frozen over, and they don't know where your head is at. They don't know what's almost being, I just heard, they don't know what's being told to you, which may be relevant for some people. They don't know maybe what other people are saying to you, and maybe they're trying to get their narrative across in some way. Maybe you're speaking through other people, or maybe they're checking up on you via others, and maybe you're not doing that as much. But there's just this kind of self-deception, not knowing between a friend or a foe in a way. And maybe that's from your end. Maybe you don't want to know this person anymore, or maybe you're gaining closure, or if you're in separation or no contact, maybe you do, but you don't want to like have them know, or you've agreed that you're going to take some time and just whatever it is. But there's this feeling that you, or maybe them as well, maybe it's both people, are kind of being suppressed by things at the moment from unworthy behavior. And maybe this is, I feel like this is almost them to themselves telling you that they know that they've made you feel this way, and that they can't do anything to change it. That they're almost the ones responsible for like they're trying to account for the place that they're in. They're trying to say, okay, I know I'm here because of what I've done. And maybe they're just coming to terms with the fact that their past affects their present, and therefore their present can affect their future. Maybe they've not quite made that tweak of, okay, well, if I start doing stuff in the present and start making that changes, then that's, again, paradoxically going to shift. There's that paradox shift. Maybe they're still not going, but there's just resistance to change, I feel, because there's this swiftness in this Eight of Wands here, and then there's this stillness. So maybe that's even their flitting communication, like to you in some respects. But I think what they wish that you knew is that you're not responsible for the stuff that they're sorting out now. That I think the stuff that is taking them away now, actually, it doesn't have anything to do with your actions. It's all on them. And I think they're knowing, and maybe words were exchanged where that wasn't what they said potentially, but that's all, like, if stuff was catching up to them, and maybe they were just piling on things that were trying to put obstacles up to stop this natural flow, this natural change coming. But it is. But also with this death card, death, rebirth, and maybe they're hoping for a rebirth, this resuscitation, this revival of this relationship in some way, that maybe they, like I said, with that active waiting for something, maybe something to dispel the darkness. This is like the moon goes through phases. I'm hearing maybe this is just a phase. Maybe this separation or breakup is something that needs to happen for this shift, for them to get themselves together, for them to heal, or for both of you to heal from what has happened. Because if something has happened where maybe they threw you into your head, or like there's just been this stickiness and there's been this no action, maybe this is the time for both people to come, like, to fight the things that they feel defensive about, is what I'm hearing. And maybe things that, like, extinguish all the fires so that they can actually, like, you both can actually focus on this connection in a way. And maybe that's from the past, maybe that's past preconceived notions, or maybe that was even a facet of this relationship before, and coming back together and realizing that this is, both people are changing, or have changed, or want to change, and therefore it's kind of new people coming to this space. So I feel like this person, and what they want to say is that the changes that they're going through are their burden to carry, and also that they're trying to be patient with themselves. They're trying to, I think, observe their behavior and heal, but they're waiting for that opportunity. They're waiting for that kind of unconscious click, as it were. And with this moon card, to sort out their ideas and why maybe they have these tendencies to, I'm hearing, because of that friend and the foe comment with the dog, like, but not being able, with the moon, not being able to tell between a friend and a foe, like a wolf and a dog in the night. I feel like there's this, maybe they were even putting their past actions, or putting people's behavior in the past, almost projecting that onto you and this relationship. And that was something that they needed to find within themselves, find this stillness, this non-action through the moon, that kind of awareness of the self, and take that time to really understand where that old story, where that pattern of behavior was coming from, and who or what it was that suppressed that, and actually how they are shifting away from it. How in that paradox, that from that loss into hope, that they're kind of filling a void in a way of, like, understanding that pain of the past. I'm feeling really drawn to lift that up. 7 of Swords, okay. So whether it's secrets, lies, or manipulations that they've told themselves or had told them in the past, or whether this is what they've done to you, maybe through their actions, maybe they made you feel the way that someone had treated them in the past. Maybe inadvertently they didn't even realise, but there's almost that understanding and their regret from having been in that situation before. They can't believe that they've actually done that to another person. Or maybe they seemingly, to you, haven't had any accountability, or maybe they just garishly stole thought energy, and maybe even felt like they wasted your time in a way. And obviously this is what they wish you knew, but you don't necessarily have to want to hear what they have to say in some respects, especially if it feels like they haven't changed a lot, or they're saying, you know, wait, have patience for me, or I'm sorting things out. Like I said, there's a difference between actively waiting and this stillness, this lack of movement. And the fact that these things are still showing up, these and with the King of Wands in reverse, who is usually an instigator of change, it's almost like it's flipped out reverse, is sitting down and maybe not listening to where that restless energy is taking. So maybe they themselves are almost a paradox, a kind of head warp, as it were. Sorry, I don't want to swear. So a head warp. And maybe you're desperately trying to fight off their energy, or maybe you're trying to heal yourself, and you're maybe still in that way of, should I wait? Should I not wait? And I think what Spirit is saying for you is, it feels like this cycle that death is calling them to, this change in order for that rebirth. And like I said before, when I said, you know, this person can come back and can be changed, and then it's two people that have want to change or have changed. And I think I also said in that bit, or say they are going to change, or something of that, or in a way, verbatim, whatever, that's I'm quoting myself in the same video, but I think it's still all talk at the moment, and I don't necessarily think it's a walk. And it feels like there are these things that are coming up and creeping up, but they're fighting fires at the moment. They're not actually, I think, addressing the changes that need to go. So obviously it's your prerogative of whether you do want to wait for this person, and maybe you know that change is happening and there are reasons behind why their behavior. But with this Seven of Swords as well, with lies and manipulation, or this kind of stealing of thought energy, or stealing of time, like I said, that mental capacity, that perspective, like causing that disillusionment or that confusion. Maybe you feel clearer now that you've taken time to heal through rest, to take time to listen to your own body and find that stillness. And I think Spirit is speaking here, because obviously this is what they wish you knew. And I think what they wish you knew is, okay, I understand the changes that I need to make. I understand that I need to get to that point. Like I said, that bish, bash, bosh. I know that almost the to-do list of what I need to do, but there's this procrastination. And Spirit's almost stepping in and taking the mic for this person and saying, you know, we're trying to bring around things that are going to bring these changes, but they are the ones that need to show up for it. And you don't need to do anything for them. Like, they have got to show up for themselves. Don't suppress your own kind of destiny, as it were, or your spiritual path. Not that this person can't be a part of that, but don't stand still because this person is standing still. You can keep moving forward on your path, and this person can either catch up, can run up behind you and join you on the path, like join you at a later date, if that's what's meant to be. But don't hold yourself back. Don't sit on the things that you feel called to, because events for this person are still going, like still moving through, and they need to make these shifts. They need to make these changes, and fight these battles that they are responsible for, and learn that pattern. And this person, if Spirit is saying, is a lesson for you as well, because everyone comes into our life as a beautiful lesson to teach us, to help us grow, of like, gosh, okay, procrastination at its finest, which sounds like I'm speaking from a menu, but as in this person is showing you how you can how dangerous it is to live in those old stories, to live in that regret and not find that forward motion, or to resist that forward motion that may even seemingly like keep on creeping up. Or how your past, how if you don't heal that, if you don't take that time to rest and to analyze your feelings for a situation, or to learn and grow from it, how you can then maybe backfire and do that to someone else with that Seven of Swords, if that resonated. But yeah, and how important it is to be in touch with that unconscious, like the unconscious conditioning and those preconceived notions. But with this Queen of Swords, potentially you're a Gemini, a Libra, or Aquarius, and maybe they are, with this Wands card, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, or maybe there's those placements in both your charts, or maybe it's flip-flopped. But Spirit is saying that you are an incredibly mentally plugged in individual with this Queen of Swords card, that you have this ability to listen to your mind, and people maybe come to you and want to make plans, and maybe this person, that's how they did, and maybe you even wanted to help them on their journey forward. But you can have all of that, you can be experienced, and you can help people so far, but are you speaking to yourself in the same way that you're speaking to this person? Are you taking your own growth in your hands? And if you were to give this person advice, or if you were to remove yourself, detach yourself from you, and in this situation, what advice would you give yourself? If it was just, seeing it from that bird's eye view, detaching from the emotions of it, just from that mental, let's make a plan. What is your goal? What is it that you want? Are you waiting, or are you kind of are you stopping? Are you slowing down your pace? You might not be slowing down all that, like you might not be stopping like this person, maybe with this no action, or what is it in this situation? What trigger happened with this potentially secrets or lies? Or do you feel like there's something being kept back from you? And if so, those answers for why you need those things are almost within. And is this person a piece of your path moving forward? Maybe that's your question. And I feel like Spirit is saying intuitively, like, your emotions can sometimes cloud that perspective, and you have this rare ability to almost disconnect that and maybe see it through, or maybe for other people you can almost sit down and give the logic of the situation. And I feel like Spirit is calling you to do that for yourself, to like look at the pattern, to observe the pattern. And I think this is more Spirit talking than what this person wants you to know, because I feel like we've gone through that in terms of like, I want to change, I'm going through that process, I'm waiting, all of those things. But Spirit is saying don't fall into the same traps, because you are different and you are handling things differently. And especially if there's other people kind of running in between, like I was saying, just because of the places that they're in doesn't mean that that's the same places that you are in. And you have the control, you have the free will to make those changes for yourself, to change your behavior and keep moving forward. And this person does too, whether they realize that or not. So don't let their lack of movement have a knock-on effect and make you slow down your pace. You continue to go for the things that you know that you need to be doing and go for. And if they manage to untangle, if they get that ball of yarn and unpick things, and then they move at this pace, this fast pace back, that velocity, because I think they have the capacity to, if they unblocked these things, to get to that point. But it's like them getting in their own way, and Spirit is saying, don't get in your own way now, because it's not really about this person, it's about you and how you are tackling these things. Like, this person, like what they wish you knew, I think there is that regret, and maybe they never said sorry, or maybe if there is no separation or contact, maybe they have said sorry, but you're not sure if it is which place that's coming from, or maybe you feel like you want closure with this death card in order for your rebirth in some way, or maybe so you can take those steps forward. But Spirit's kind of saying that closure is overrated in a way. We don't have those finite endings in life. We have this continuance, this cycle. The only change, the permanent change, is that change of consciousness at the end of our lives through that death card. But we're constantly going through cycles, through ebbs and flows, and this is a diversion, an obstacle, or maybe it's been cut out, a break or a separation because of things that may not be serving you in that long run on the journey that you're supposed to be treading. Or maybe this is your lesson. So take that time to listen to yourself, to listen to your own advice like you would say to a friend, but also to take that time to listen and connect to Spirit, find that stillness within yourself, and ask yourself those why questions, without the words of other people, without that humdrum around you, or without what you think this person is doing, because everyone is significant to your life that comes in. There is no doubt about that. So I'm not saying that this person is now not significant, but are they significant for the next step of your growth? It doesn't mean that they're not going to come back. It doesn't mean that there might not be reconciliation. Maybe there will with this Weight card, but things are still unfolding for them. Or maybe they're not addressing those things that are unfolding in front of them. So you can't wait for them to do that. You've got your own journey, and in any relationship, you have your own wholeness, your own sense of self, your own past, your own things, experiences that you work through, that you come to terms with and you accept, and you change with those ebbs and flows, and you take those leaps forward, those leaps and bounds. You can't have anyone stopping you from doing that, from looking back, because you've got to be in this present moment and the gift for what that is. So my glorious friends of pile 1, I know that sort of turned into a spirit speak for what they had to say to you, but I think it was relevant for what this person wished that you knew in a lot of ways, because and sometimes Spirit hijacks the reason for that reading for that reason, to kind of ask potentially why we're asking about someone. So I'm sorry if it's not necessarily the message that you wanted to hear, but maybe it was the one that you needed to hear. But I feel like this person, almost, especially their higher selves, recognize what they need to do, and on an unconscious level, but whether they're actually going to take that action, that because they're still that movement forward, that motion is another thing. But it feels like it's going to catch up to them at some point, and they almost don't have a kind of a word in them. That's not the phrase. They don't always have a choice in the matter. There we go. They almost don't have a choice. They have to go through this. They have to learn this cycle. And Spirit's kind of like, well, if it's not in this life, buddy, it'll be in another life. So keep doing your things. Keep working on the things that you need to be working on those patterns. And that the energy that suits you and the energy that you are aligning with will also find you. And I'm not saying that this person won't in the future if they align to that frequency as well. So my glorious friends of pile 1, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really, really hope it resonated with you. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I'm sending so much love. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 2. So if you picked the Friends TV show tarot and the Amazonite pebble, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's get straight down to shuffling the tarot cards. For this reading, I've already got your oracle cards ready. So like I said at the top of the reading, please hold this person in your mind whilst I'm shuffling for you. If you came with someone in specifically, or if you wanted to kind of leave it open, then please, yeah, I'll just please sit back, enjoy the show. I'll shuffle your cards for you, because you won't necessarily know who this is. So yes, let's have a look-see. I think they are shuffled enough. So Spirit, for pile 2, what is it that this person wishes that they knew? What is it that pile 2's person wishes that they knew? Okay, so we have the 7 of Wands in reverse. We have the Justice card. We have the Sun. We have the 8 of Wands. Wow. Okay. We have, okay, I'm going to leave back of the deck over there. We've got the 5 of Pentacles over there. I wasn't expecting this many cards. I don't know if they're all going to fit. We shall see. Okay, we're still in frame. That's all good. We've got Death. We've got the 10 of Swords. We've got the 4 of Cups too. And we've also got the 5 of Pentacles. Lovely, just all about fits. And then in terms of oracle cards, we have Break. Ties have been severed in a situation. Release what doesn't serve you. Interrupted, cut off, separated. We have Death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. We have Protect Your Heart. We have Party Leader. We have the Explorer. And we also have Guidance. You are divinely guided. So we've got double death here. I heard double jeopardy as well, as in just as I was saying double death here, and I feel like there has been, this is really similar energy sort of to pile 1, but I feel like you guys are in a different space, a slightly different space. So maybe you were drawn to both, but it feels like maybe there's been a no contact situation, or a separation in some way, a break, a time away, or maybe a breakup. And maybe those ties feel like they have been severed, and maybe that happened very, very quickly. Or maybe it was a cycle that you both knew that you needed to take. And maybe it got to the situation where thoughts were kind of running wild in some way. Maybe it was their thoughts, but I think when this door closed on them with this 5 of Pentacles, when the door shut and they were listening to their guidance, I think they almost realized that they were putting their guard up and being defensive, and that they weren't actually seeing this new emotional opportunity for what it is. It's like they allowed their thoughts to, and I think the preconceived notions of what happened in the past, to overwhelm them, to get them to the point where they felt like they couldn't go on. So maybe that's why things ended abruptly, or maybe that's why they felt like they couldn't cope, and maybe it was all happening very, very quickly. in some way, and they need to shut down to protect that heart. And I think what this person wants you to know is that they weren't in the mental space to see the new emotional opportunities when they arrived, this Ace of Cups, the new emotional experiences for growth, that healing, that light, that joy, that center. And I think, in a way, I think you made this person like explore a new side of themselves, and I think it revived them with this party leader. Or maybe if this person, maybe if there hasn't been separation or no contact, potentially this is a situation where you feel like their past is still lingering, and that maybe they haven't separated from that entirely. So I feel like there's two aspects to this, but maybe there's this new emotional opportunity that is coming from them, or has come from them already, almost this new offer, maybe even out of thin air. And maybe there's this kind of doubt in your mind, like, has this person changed? Do they actually want this? Is it going to be the same situation as last time? Or maybe if you are in separation and you're kind of you're kind of working through things and seeing where your head's at and them, and maybe exploring where the heart is, and almost that higher perspective. I feel like it's trying to find that true north. It's to try and find that guidance within yourselves. But I think this shut door in this Five of Pentacles, this kind of lack of known security, this lack of having you in their life as this source of emotional renewal, has hit them harder. And there's this feeling that maybe this ending, maybe this close of chapter that they felt like they had to bring around, this kind of rock bottom that they came to in terms of their thoughts. Like, maybe you were in this image, this kind of like this figure offering them this romance, this passion with these like red roses, like being there, being joyful, being this person that they didn't have to have those defenses up from, where they could let that slip, where they weren't being held accountable for what they did in the past, that they could be fresh and new with. And maybe they were the ones that were like self-sabotaging. Maybe they were the ones that were being dramatic in their heads, and maybe it's like they pulled the panic cord. There's that song that is running through my head at the moment by Gabriella Aplin. Thank you. And kind of like, maybe I pulled the panic cord, and she goes, and they go, maybe I pulled the panic cord, maybe you were, I think maybe you were happy I was bored. And maybe it was that thing of that, like, they don't even know why they put the brakes on. They don't even know why they stopped it. Maybe they thought it was to protect their heart, but actually there was all this healing going on. And it's like their thoughts were blocking them every single step of the way. And actually, I feel like what this person wants to say is that I think you, with this party leader, that you help guide them to a place where they felt this joy, this connectivity. And that brings vulnerability, but there is also this optimism and this feeling that they are free from those rigid thoughts and everything. But it's like, I think even though they felt this enlightenment, even though they felt this gravitational pull, and I feel like they still do, they needed to step away, and they needed to let, like, maybe this is why I had double death, double trouble. It's like in Halloween movies where the killer comes back, has that like re-emergence. Not what I'm talking about in a second film, but like you think they're gone and then all of a sudden, or there's two or whatever. I feel like it's almost that. Like they thought they'd put it to bed. They thought they'd put that past to bed in a way, and then it came up upon them. And so they were like, okay, well, I can't deal with both of these things, so I'm gonna cut. And it's like that scale, that imbalance. And they needed to confront that truth, and they know that came from their past actions, and maybe it just crept up at such a velocity that they weren't expecting. But I also, very weirdly, I looked at the Explorer card and I just heard, being a theatre kid, there was this exercise that we did where, and this may be for like a very, very specific group of people. I heard this exercise called Join the Army, Travel the World, Meet Interesting People. So maybe for some people, maybe this person was in the army, or maybe it's even just like there's battles that they had to go and do through this Explorer card. Like they, to their truest selves, there were things pulling them. But I think what this person wishes that you knew is that actually, like, your light and your radiance brought so much to them. And I think with this party leader, like, really opened them up to new experiences and made them feel alive, and really did revive them in a lot of ways. And I feel like they felt on a path which they hadn't for a long time. And maybe they even felt supported by spirit with this divinely guidance and this guidance card. And that things had been cut away from them before for a reason, so that this new emotional opportunity could come to them. That this full cup. But it's like it got in the way. Like you were such a force where maybe they had their defenses up, where it came swooping in even despite all their past, and you were there. And they were the ones that have left you again now. I think they've left you in that position where you're wondering why. And they're sorry for that they let the things that they hadn't fully let go of, or their own thoughts, their own self-sabotage, their own drama get in the way, that they weren't in the mental space to receive the emotional offering that you were giving when it came about. And they didn't, like, when the door closed, they didn't necessarily see the window, and that you were almost their window of opportunity. Or maybe this is maybe how it's different to pile one. Maybe you guys have connected in some way, and maybe you guys don't speak about the past, or haven't, or maybe you feel like there's some blocks kind of between you or from this person. And I think there's this feeling that they just don't want to get hurt. It's not that they want to cut things off, but maybe they've had things in the past that have been severed maybe in a very brutal way. And through this Explorer card, maybe they're still trying to explore their hearts and their relationship, maybe even with the divine, and finding that trust and faith, and kind of re-emerging in this feeling that they are in charge, and that kind of having that self-confidence in that party leader. So maybe it's them trying to come back to themselves, and mentally they're still trying to go through those changes. So maybe it's that they're not putting on the full brakes, but they've got to slow it down slightly, or maybe they're just not going at the same pace. But they're learning that all those endings in the past meant that these new opportunities could come through. So there's a few different energies here. And I think ultimately this person wants you to know that the lack of security that maybe they felt, that kind of feeling out in the cold, or the feeling that their thoughts were getting on top of them, and like, it's the biggest cliche, but it's not you, it is them. It's stuff that they have got to work through, and they know that they've got to work through. And this is where it's slightly different to pile one, different energy, in terms of they know that they don't have to fight battles and drain their energy on things anymore. And they're almost aware of this need to change, and they want to lean into the change. But sometimes those resistance still come up. But they're learning to see that hope in the situation, and they're coming back more to themselves. And they do find this joy and this equilibrium and this healing in the sun, and it is dispelling that confusion for them. And they're sowing these positive seeds. But sometimes those barriers that you create, those walls that come up, they're the defense mechanisms. And sometimes things are said or done, or there's that energy which maybe throws all those thoughts that maybe throw you back straight into it. So maybe it's those battles that have been cropping up that have been propelling them back into a headspace, and they're trying to say, actually, no, it's fine. We're fine. You don't need to do that anymore. And they are trying to release what doesn't serve them. And I think there's this apology here for you, pile 2, if you felt like you were something that they wanted to cut off, because that's not the case. They need to focus energy inwards at the moment, and that's not at the expense of losing the connection, but it's so that they can put to bed the things that they need to put to bed and fully embrace those new opportunities and those new experiences. Because there is that feeling of connectivity, and that they are gaining this self-confidence, and they're feeling more at home in themselves. And they know that it's warped, this kind of protecting heart, because I feel like they know that their heart is safe, and it's like, you're not coming with any swords. Like, they're carrying all of them in this 10 of Swords. So maybe they're even being dramatic in some way. Maybe quite melodramatic, and they know that they're being melodramatic. Maybe they've even said this to you. But they're learning how to move through these paces, and it's happening at such a velocity and a swiftness that they know that they're the ones standing in their own way, and it is nothing to do with you, because it is everything to do with you, because you're allowing them to feel these things, and you're bringing these emotional experiences and all that warmth, all that energy. So it is to do with you, but those last few things are to do with them, and they're ready, and they're getting ready to do that. And they know that the actions that they make now are going to affect the future, and they're ready for that to come around. There's just like that little bit of self-doubt which they're still working through, like just that final step through that window, like they're closing that door behind them, in order to fully embrace this opportunity, and probably embrace you as well. But like with anything, sometimes wind comes up. Sometimes on a journey, you set out, you embark, you start on this new journey, and things come up, obstacles, maybe cause breaks, whatever, and they know, maybe they feel interrupted in that flow, but they know that they can get themselves back on track, that they need to find their center and sort those things out, and step away from those energy drains that they don't need anymore. So my glorious friends of pile 2. I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. I really hope it resonated with you. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards today. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you all again very soon. Until that point, I'm sending so much love. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 3. So if you picked the guided hand tarot deck and also the moonstone, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's get straight in and shuffle your tarot cards. Like I said at the beginning, whilst I'm shuffling, hold the person that you're asking about in your mind for the message of what they wish you knew. Or if you're kind of going into this of, I don't have anyone, or I felt drawn to this pile as well as another one, I will just want to see who this person is, then just hold on, ready for the ride, and I'll do the shuffling and the channeling. So Spirit, let's see. So for pile 3, what does this person wish they knew? What is it that this person wishes that pile 3 knew? So we have the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, okay. We have the 2 of Cups. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Pentacles. We also have the Moon. And we have the 3 of Pentacles too. And on the back of the deck, we have the Chariot as well. Oh, and Ace of Swords also wants to come to play by the sounds of it. Not the sounds, it was a movement. So by the looks of it, there we go. And then in terms of oracle cards, we have Balance. Remain composed, for your inner world is reflected in your surroundings. Equilibrium, center, and serenity. We have self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. We have repopulation. We have ripe fruits. We have the Magi. And we also have don't stop, a miracle is around the corner. I also heard don't stop, it's Chico time. And if you don't know who Chico is or what Chico time is, I think you should go and look it up right now. What are you still doing here? So firstly, I feel like this person, maybe they have earth placements. There's a lot of earth energy here. Potentially they are a Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, or maybe you have those placements. Maybe you both do. But there's this feeling of, there's this overwhelming feeling of them coming into alignment. That I'm literally hearing that I've made it through the wilderness. I made it through. Didn't know how lost I was until I found you. And I think with this moon card, they maybe didn't realize that they would have another phase, or maybe something that that they thought had gone extinct. And maybe I feel like that is to do with love, or this new opportunity that has arisen, this ability to have a new teammate, as it were. I think they thought that wasn't going to happen for them, or maybe they had that low self-esteem, or that they'd hit as far as they thought they could. And the energy that you supply has whatever felt that was going extinct, or whatever within them that they didn't realize that they had, that kind of self-esteem, that courage, and that willpower, that grit to get up and go for it, and or to have this new beginning, to go after what it is that they hoped. I feel like now they have that. They have this feeling that the right fruits are there for their taking, that maybe they had a lull, and maybe that was to do with, there's 2 things. This person could either be in a workplace, and it could either be realigning, you helping them realign to their material goals, but I feel for most people it's to do with love. And I feel like, so there may be a small group of people that's for, but for the majority of part, I feel like that this person maybe was quite disinterested, or had just kind of come to terms with their own independence, and they I feel like they were just trying to get through it, or maybe they'd stopped even digging that hole. Maybe they weren't even looking around for love to come into their lives, and then it's like this new opportunity kind of just manifested itself. And oh, I heard the sweetest thing. Spirit was saying that I just got this channeled message of, they think you're swell, so swell. And it reminded me of Thoroughly Modern Millie. And Freddie in Thoroughly Modern Millie goes, Millie, I think you're swell. And I just had that. And so maybe Thoroughly Modern Millie, or Millie, is significant to this. But there's just this, it's such like, it's gorgeous, gorgeous love, this like sweetness, and it's something that's really been able to birth in them and has helped them almost find their center, something which maybe they felt like they'd got to their wits end about, or they'd kind of hit rock bottom with, and like I said, kind of suppress those feelings. Maybe they weren't even feeling themselves in a lot of way, or maybe they were, maybe this is where the work thing comes in, maybe they were on their way to their own, they're on their own self-discovery journey, and they were just kind of doing their thing, going after their goals, and maybe they were material goals, and kind of got to that point where they were quite happy with all of that, and they were like, okay, well, I'm satisfied with my lot. I've got this sense of self-worth now, in terms of like my career, or feeling like I'm confident in who I am. And then wham bam, love comes knocking on the door, like this new opportunity, like yet again something else which maybe they weren't even expecting, and maybe they'd hoped for. Maybe it was something that they put in the distance of something that they might like, but maybe it wasn't something that they realized that was so close to fruition. And I think it was with this Two of Cups, the card of love, reciprocation, healing and reassurance, but also this rare attraction to someone or something, that kind of unexplainable connection. And again, with repopulation, it's that feeling of going from 0 to 100, like that switch of feeling. And especially if there was that void of loss of not having something, or thinking that time was up, and then suddenly something appears. So I think this person wants you to know how maybe quick it was for them in a lot of ways, and how much of a teammate you are to them. With the Three of Pentacles, I feel like they've been on that journey, and there were mountains that maybe they didn't even think that they wanted to climb, in a way, and you have been a teammate for them. And all those obstacles and those barriers, whether it's put there through the self, through this Chariot card, or whether it was obstacles that came up in their lives, like your presence with this Ace of Pentacles, your presence, like this connection, but also like the way that you make them think about themselves and feel about themselves, has made them feel like they can conquer anything, has made them feel like they can conquer the Milky Way and blaze across the sky. Sorry. And I just feel like with this Chariot card, they just feel so victorious, that they feel like they could go on and conquer the world, and do things that they almost never thought that they could do. There's just this huge triumph in this, and like this feeling of serenity within, and like I think with this don't stop, a miracle is around the corner, that you are that miracle to them. You are that thing, that part of themselves which maybe they shut down or repressed or didn't think that they were allowed to have. And you kind of came about, you manifested. Or maybe this is even a reconciliation for some people. Maybe you guys have come back into each other's lives, but I feel like it might be new love. But maybe for some people, maybe for a small group. But they feel like your energy, your giving energy, how much you give up for other people, that is such, that has benefited them so much. And they want to do that same thing for you in return. And they feel like they can be open and honest and transparent, and that they can be thankful for all the things that they've done, all the things that they've grown. But like, oh my gosh, I'm getting all the love songs today. My life would suck without you. Kelly Clarkson's just coming in. I feel like music could be very, maybe very relevant. Maybe this person is a musician or plays an instrument, or maybe that might be a link to how you guys met. Maybe it was at a concert, or I just feel like I'm hearing a lot of music today, for this pile in particular. But it feels like it feels like it was a phase that they like didn't think was going to happen for them again, or they didn't feel like they were almost ready for, or that it was as close. Maybe it was something that they hoped was still in the distance, this kind of new love, and it's kind of all fallen in. And how it's helped soothe them and bring them into alignment and balance, and maybe even threw them off center and balance in the best way, as in it helped. Maybe they weren't in alignment, and then it kind of shifted them into, it's like moved them onto this frequency. But there's this great feeling that there's someone now that they can conquer the mountains together with, and there's this new way of thinking and thinking about the future, but also thinking about love in general, and the goals of what they wanted. But also maybe with this 9 of Pentacles here, this independence, and then adding the Ace to that to make 10. And the 10 of Pentacles is the card of wealth, but also family and archives and building for the future. So maybe you guys have discussed family in whatever way that means to you, whether that's like buying a house or building a house or having a family, whichever way it goes, it doesn't matter, or building an empire, building a business empire, whatever it is, it feels like this, it's like the cherry on top of the cake. Like they were almost whole, they were happy with their lot, with where they were, and then this energy has come in and it's made them feel like, I can expand even further. Like, wait, what? Like mentally, like with this Ace of Swords, mentally they can go even further. I'm being called to Aerophant. Yeah, opening up even more doors. Like a teacher that they didn't even maybe know was around the corner, and maybe you've even got them in tune with their spirituality in some way with this moon, or on an unconscious level. But there's, with the Magi, there's this magic in this kind of rejuvenation, and this feeling like there's endless and like unlimited potential and possibilities here. But also there's this power, this feeling of being able to make things happen and manifest what it is that they want. And maybe that's even through this kind of divine relationship. Maybe soulmates, I'm hearing, is because 2 of Cups can also be is the card of soulmates as well. So maybe it feels like on a spiritual level this connection has helped balance and center them, and I think they just want you to know how much of an impact you have made to them, and they hope that they show you this every single day, that they do little things, but they feel like nothing is going to be enough, and that, like, to show you, like, you are such a source of strength, and you're so dependable. Like, they know that you're always there, that you are tenacious, that you are strong, that you are dedicated, that you are going after those things that you want, and you won't stop. And maybe you didn't stop. Maybe you were the one that fought for this connection, if it was a break and it's come back together, potentially. Or maybe you might have had your fair share of hurts in the past when it comes to love, and maybe you were the one that kept digging, and maybe even called them out if they stopped, and you were like, no, don't stop. But they couldn't wish for a better cheerleader, someone to be in their corner. And you guys, I feel like, have your own things. You are your own wholeness. You are very independent people. I feel like we've got this 9 of Pentacles. I feel like both people are. But like I said, you guys are both the cherry almost on top of each other's cake, in maybe a deceptive world where you weren't sure whether this person, this teammate, would appear. And it's so beautiful. And they can't thank you enough, but there's this feeling of, like, they feel even more confident, and that there are so many more gifts to come, and that they hope that they can extend those gifts back to you, because you've given so much to them, and help them set their sights on new heights. Like, you've taught them so much, and I think it's just a continuing, like, hitting the mother lode, hitting the jackpot. Like, things just keep surprising them. Energy keeps coming towards them. And I think there's just this gratefulness. There's gratefulness that you're walking your paths, like you're choosing to walk them together. Like, you've got your own separate things, but you're choosing to do that walking, to be in each other's teams and support each other on your own journeys. But yeah, with this Magi card as well, it feels like maybe all the things that they were hoping for, those things that they were hoping to manifest, like that magic has come back. Or even if it's just like the magic of love, that magic of feeling like they can have things, their desires, that deep thing that they wanted can come to them. Like, there's this power. But again, like, I'm hearing spirit, so maybe you introduce them to spirituality, or you have this kind of way of seizing the day, and kind of you realize that you have got to have that courage, that forethought, that determination. You've got to put what it is that you want in there, and you've got to put your money where your mouth is, and kind of walk that walk and just do it. And to have this faith that things are going to come to you, and you're going to align with those things. And maybe for some people, maybe this is fairly new in terms of this Ace of Pentacles, this new opportunity. Maybe it's still early days, but this person can see almost, they're almost realigning, they're almost rethinking about the future in a way that they didn't before, or about love and what they could have, and maybe what they thought was missing, or what was in void, something that they didn't think they could have. Now they can, and they feel that fullness. So it's beautiful energy that this person wants to send to you. And I keep hearing Fleetwood Mac, Don't Stop, looking about tomorrow. But Don't Stop is just a great song, so of course I would that would come to my mind as well. But with this hand on the heart as well, I think it really comes from the heart, from their truth. And maybe some of it sounds cliched, and maybe they know that, and maybe they know that they're cheesy, maybe they know that they tell too many silly jokes, or they say things that sound like that, or maybe you guys even have a joke in some way about all of those things. Maybe you laugh at those cliches and they know this, but they're happy that you're in on the joke, and they do mean those things. They do. And it's like you've made nothing something. You've made like that feeling of the void, and now there's something there. And they can't believe that now it's like so close that they could almost reach out and touch it. That it's kind of ready, like they're ready. Like with this ripe fruits, like maybe they feel like they've not been ready before, but now they're ready to step forward and to take those things and almost to have that kind of victory, because you make them feel like that they are worthy and deserving of it, and they can go for it, and they can release those blocks and those obstacles, and they can kind of trust and have faith and let go of that wheel and just see where it goes. Even if this is really a new energy, because we've got the 2 aces, or maybe it just feels like continuing to grow and like new opportunities coming all the time. But yeah, there's just this kind of, I don't need to control this. I can go with the motions, and I know I'm going to be okay. I know together we're going to be okay. So my glorious friends of pile 3, before my heart absolutely bursts, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. It was such a beautiful energy, and I absolutely love it, and I love you guys, and yeah, I really hope to read your cards again soon. So if you'd like to follow me, please do hit that subscribe button. I would love to read your cards again. I'm sending so much love to you, and until next time, I really hope to see you guys then. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 4. So if you picked the Marigold Tarot deck and the red Jasper, then this reading is going to be for you. So let's get straight in and shuffle your tarot. So like I said in the intro, you can hold this person in your mind. If you have someone in mind that you would like to ask about, hold them in whilst I'm shuffling. Or if you've just come along for the ride and you felt drawn to this pile and you're not sure which energy we may pick up on, well, hello and welcome, and I'll do the channeling and the shuffling. Channeling and shuffling, that's my motto, and that's my duty. What am I rambling on about? Who knows? So let's go for it. So for pile 4 spirit, what is it that this person wishes they knew? So we have the 9 of rings. What is it that this person wishes they knew? We have the 10 of cups. Oh, we had one that's turned over as well, and I did check before. Empress as well. Was there another one, or was it no? I thought I caught a flash. So what is it for pile 4 that this person wishes that they knew? Are you falling out? Well, we'll never know. Maybe you'll come back for us. We have the 2 of swords. We have the 6 of rings. We'll get one more as well. And we have the Emperor. And then on the back, we also have the 9 of Wands 2. So let's get your oracle cards as well. So we have air. New ideas can be formulated freely when intellect meets discussion, logical, curious, and social. We have success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. We have your dreams are closer than you think. We have calm within transformation. We have the outlaw, And we also have set intentions, plant the seeds, and watch them grow. So I feel like this person, potentially there's air placements within their chart, or maybe you have air placements within your chart, Libra, Aquarius, or a Gemini, but you don't necessarily have to have those placements, or they don't either. I feel like this person, we have got the earthly mother and father in the deck in terms of the Empress and the Emperor. So potentially this could be a family figure for some people, or a mentor in some way, maybe someone who maybe was involved in your informative years, or has been involved in your growth and your development in some way. So it could be even a boss or a mentor or a teacher or something for some people. Or I'm thinking with the Emperor and the Empress, obviously they are kind of, what was the expression that I was trying to say? It's like partnerships. It could be a partner. It could be a loving partner. It could be two sides of the same coin. Yeah, two sides of the same coin. It's that yin and yang energy. It's that masc and femme. And so it could feel like that. But for a lot of people, I feel like this is more of a mentor in some way, but it may be a partnership. So I'll read for both as they come up. But this person really, really wants to say to you, and what they wish that you knew, is how, like, I feel like you're called out there, and maybe even this person calls you and says that you're very out there, that you're being an outlaw, you doing stuff against the grain, you having that sense of self and that sense of purpose, and that feeling that you are going to go after your instincts. You are wild. You are almost outrageous in what it is that you're saying, but also in your belief of, I am finding, maybe people can't make the leaps and bounds in the logic, or can't think of the ideas that you can. Your curiosity to learn and to grow and to push past mountains and to go through each terrain, and that you have that tenacity to look after yourself, to go for it, to make a success of things. And I feel like this person is saying maybe their advice in the past has, maybe they've dissuaded you, or maybe they've held you back in some way, or maybe they felt like their presence did, or maybe they gave you too much logic and that kind of sword. With these Two of Swords, maybe they were at the crossroads with you, and or at the crossroad junction and at that formative time, and maybe wanted you to go down a particular path, maybe in the logic of it, and maybe you were feeling something else, and you were feeling this draw to go down and find something new. And maybe you were kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place. Maybe you were worried that if you did something independently, whether this person would support you in some way, whether they would still whether you would still have that give and take within your relationship. Or maybe you will, maybe you're still in this point, and maybe you're still in this feeling of, I'm not sure what it is that I'm going to do, but I feel this call to do something. And I know it in my bones, intuitively. I know I need to go there, and I need to grow this on my own. And maybe it's even this feeling between the natural cycles of the Empress, of that feeling of almost going into the natural world. And even if you come up with delays and obstacles, it's that feeling of being with nature, like the outlaw, like feeling that those cycles, that sensual side. Or whether it's falling to the, again, both are creators. The Empress is the mother nature, as it were, and like the raw creator out of natural materials, and the Emperor is that of kind of logic, of structures, of building social structures, business, that kind of thing. And maybe that's where you're stuck between at the moment. Maybe you're not sure which creator, and maybe what this person is one or the other. And maybe you feel like you have this urge to go down this path, but you're worried about what this other person is going to think because it's slightly different to what they've done or what they think you should do. But actually, what this person wants to say and what they wish that you knew is that you can trust yourself, is that you have everything within you that you need to succeed, to find success. And their piece of advice is that love, the love of what you do, but the love that you surround yourself with, is that emotional opportunity, and those emotional opportunities for growth, that is the greatest success that there is. And actually that this person is going to love you no matter what it is that you choose. With this 10 of Cups, you are always in their sphere. You're always going to be in that community with them. You can feel healed and reassured by that energy. You are one of their community. And everyone goes through these transformations. Everyone has to have that feeling of self-discovery. There's aches, there's growing pains, but you're going to get through it with this 9 of Wands and this 9 of Rings. Independently, you can. You don't hide your passions and your desires and what it is that you love from the world. Don't hold yourself back in that way. Whatever it is that your instincts, that feeling of being the other or being seen as different or going against the grain or having a new way of thinking, that is how society expands. That's where we create this discussion in this air. This is where the world becomes more curious, where it opens more doors, is when people go against the grain and ask why, challenge the status quo, break free of that box and find a new path. And this person doesn't want you to get caught up in your head of what you think you should do, but to do what you want to do, what you feel called to. And they will always be there for advice. They will always be there in this give and take relationship. Always be there to hold your hand through it as well, is what I'm hearing, if you so need it. Not that you do, but if you need that support, they are there. And they want nothing more than you to set your intentions, and maybe you already have, and they're saying that you've kind of already broken free of the box of what you thought you could do, or even what they thought they could do. If this is a parent or a very close mentor, maybe this is something, maybe you've even broken kind of a pattern, an ancestral pattern, a generational pattern in a way, like you've done something that I couldn't do. Or you know, you're setting these intentions, you're setting something new, you're setting your own rules, you're breaking out of what we all thought we could do. And there's no greater success than following that, from loving your transformation and finding this peace. And to have that peace when, don't feel like there needs to be a struggle at this crossroads. There's 2 paths ahead of you, and it's almost like it's the past and the future. This is your kind of, your tipping point, your kind of compass, your true north picking. And you can find calm within that, calm within listening to your intuition and where that's taking you. And there's always going to be love surrounding you and this person with this 10 of Cups. That full heart is always going to be there. Those arms open wide, and the 10 of Cups can be with happy community, but also family and love and that feeling of prosperity and wholeness. So this person has got your back. They're here to support you through whatever it is that you decide, whatever independent decision, and they don't want you to take their thoughts, as it were, or their feelings into account with it, because actually the love of what you do is more important to them. You finding an affinity with what it is that you want. And I think they see that your dreams are just like within grasping distance, just around the corner. And this is your new seed. This is your opportunity to plant it and watch that grow, to fuel it, to nurture that, and really cut out that which doesn't serve you anymore, so you can continue to build. And actually with the Emperor and the Empress, they're not, like I said, they're both creators. They just create in a different way. And actually both can work together, and both can have their strengths and have their weaknesses equally. Like the Emperor can be too rigid. The Emperor can push past too quickly and try in haste, try and create. The Empress can be delayed. It's seasonal. It's linked to Mother Nature, like I said, pregnancy, and sometimes there's the delay of 9 months before a project can be birthed, or all of those things. And sometimes you're with the season, sometimes there's blocks that come out, natural disasters, all of those things. And maybe there's even this kind of feeling of smothering an idea as well, not like watering it too much, and that kind of and you know, paying it almost too much attention, that it almost like watching a kettle, like a pan boil over. So both ways, like there are difficulties, there are obstacles, there is on any journey. It's not black and white, it's all grey. There's always going to be a grey area. So you need to lean into the one that you feel most confident in, despite what this person is. And that's what they want you to do. That's what they want you to know. They wish that you knew that you don't have to have your guard up against them. You can let them in. You can share your ideas. You can communicate with them. They're there. Their ear is there for you. They know you're fiercely independent. They know that you don't need them. They know that you've gone through a lot of things on your road to get you to where you are now, and that you've seen and you've dealt with a lot of things. And maybe they've even put obstacles in your path in the past. And they just want you to know that you're so close with these nines. It's like coming into fruition. Your dreams are coming together, and it's because of you staying true to yourself. And the more you lean into the path that you know is right intuitively, the stronger you are, but also the happier you are. And that's their main thing, is that they want you to be happy. They want you to go for the transformation, to do the things that it is that you feel called to do. And they want to watch you grow. That's it. They want to see your success. They want to celebrate you. They want to be around to enjoy everything. They don't want, like, if it feels like there's a rift, or there could be a rift from doing something, or maybe there was in the past, they want to release that. They're not interested. That you guys can stand boldly together, being so different. And so sometimes that is what partnership is, whether that just be, you know, or a relationship, any relationship, in fact, whether that's with parents or with aunts, uncles, or business partners or friends. Relationships are that, is that you take differences, you embrace them, and you realize that you're two different people that can be bold separately, but you can come together and be a massive force. And this person is on your team. They are your cheerleader, and they are curious about what it is that you want to do, and they want to know what new ideas you've got and where you see yourself going. They want to be a part of that journey. But it's up to you. They know that you don't need them, and that you can you can protect what your passions and desires are. Maybe they forfeited that, or maybe they feel that they forfeited that in your mind, sort of thing. But maybe they're hoping for that calm transformation within the relationship, or maybe it is slowly transforming, or they hope that that will align, and that you'll recognize that they are there for you, and that they always will be there for you. It's so interesting how we've also got water, air, fire, and earth. Earth, wind, and fire, but and yes, all of the elements. And I think there's this feeling of the Magician card is coming to my mind, and they feel like you are very powerful, very willful. You've got tremendous amounts of courage and determination, and that you can draw whatever path that you pick, whatever it is that you choose to do. You can draw down that power into yourself, and you are a powerful force. You can wield whatever it is that you want and create the reality, manifest something. And I feel like that's it. You are untapped potential, and you are just a catalyst for success. I think they just see such a bright future for you. And they just want you to know that they'll always be there to be that ear for you if you need it. And just because you're picking something else, just because you're being the other, or being a bit of a wild card, or they may not understand you, doesn't mean that they don't embrace you and embrace your ideas and want to be around. They know that you're independent and that you've created a lot, and you've got so much behind you, and you are going to accumulate this wealth, and you've already got this luxury and this brilliance around you. You've created all of that. It's been a process. You've gone through those motions. You've taken every single hit as of when, and you become stronger from it, and that's only going to continue to grow. You can push past any mountains. And I feel like with this outlaw, you've got this like rooting for the underdog as well. Like maybe you feel like you're the underdog in some way, but they don't see you as that. They see you as a top dog, and that's how you should see yourself. And I think they wish that you knew that how tantalizingly close you are, and you've actually got all the ingredients there to do it, to create what it is that you want, to create the reality and the dreams. And you're almost so close. It's like you're the perfect package for whatever it is that you pick that you want to do, and they're there 100% in your team to ride out all the successes with you, and all the obstacles that inevitably come with life, the ebbs and the flows. Maybe they've been there for some obstacles, or like I said, maybe they feel like they have been an obstacle in some way, and they don't want to hinder you. They want to see you grow, see you transform, and follow that fire. Follow whatever it is that you want to follow. And with earth, wind, and fire as well, I'm hearing Boogie Wonderland. So maybe that's relevant to you. Maybe not. Maybe that's just me kicking up some elemental works. Or maybe there is a song of earth, wind, and fire that resonates within this relationship. There doesn't have to be. But yeah, I feel like they're saying be unapologetically you. Do the things that you feel called to, because ultimately that's what they wish they did. If they didn't do that and they went into a structure, or they went down a path that they didn't necessarily want to do, or that's what they always continue to want to do. Maybe this person has creative outlets in some way, and they wish they could be as unencumbered as you. They wish that they could follow their instincts, or be as creative almost, I'm hearing, as you are. So trust yourself, because sometimes, like I said, the opposites attract, or you sometimes not envious, but sometimes you know that you can grow from that person. You can see things in that person that you wish you could emulate, vice versa. Just as much as maybe you're in admiration for this person, and that's why you care about what they think and what the decision is, they feel the same about you. They feel that there's parts of you that they can learn from, that they can grow from, and that they can be more like. Everyone is a beautiful learning experience for us. And that's really just the beauty. And maybe with this Empress kind of looking over to the Emperor and the Emperor looking ahead sort of thing, what I just heard there is like don't watch me, don't try and emulate me. Maybe like I'm always going to be here for that advice, but you've got it already within you. You know what you need to do, and you've already got this self-enlightenment. Just as they've got that halo almost around their head, so have you. You don't need to look at anybody else. You can trust yourself. Trust yourself that you know what it is that you need to do and that you can do it. So my glorious friend of pile 3, pile 4. Sorry, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I had such a blast. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I really hope it resonated. I'm sending so much love to each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And until next time, bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 5. So if you picked the Ethereal Visions Tarot deck and the Labradorite crystal, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, let's get straight into shuffling your tarot cards. So like I said in the intro, please keep this person in mind whilst I am shuffling. And if you've just come along for the ride of this reading and maybe you just felt drawn to it and you didn't have a specific person in mind, or you found your pile and you were also drawn to this one and you were like, oh, I'll just see what message it is, then sit back, relax, and I'll channel and shuffle. But yeah, keep that person in your mind if you do have a specific person that you're trying for. So Spirit, for pile 5, what is it that this person wishes they knew? What is it that this person wishes they knew? So we have got the 3 of Cups. Yeah, 3 of Cups in reverse. We have got the 5 of Wands in reverse. We have got the King of Wands. We have got the Devil. We've also got the Artist, which is a specific card for this deck in the Ethereal Visions Tarot deck. What is it that this person wishes that they knew? We've also got the World card, and on the back of the deck, we've also got the Magician. So I'll put them up there. And then in terms of Oracle cards, we have Moon, attune with the ever-changing cycles of the moon to harness powerful feminine energy, intuition, cycles, illusion. We have got Abundance. I'm a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. We have Weight of Truth. We have Suppression of a star being by unworthy hands. We have the Seeker. And we also have You Are Safe. The universe has your back. So this person could, or maybe you could, it may be you, this card, or them. It may be a kind of reflection situation in terms of Spirit and this tarot. So it could be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries with that King of Wands, but could have those placements in the chart. Don't necessarily have to, but it's about that energy. And I feel like there's this feeling of this person wants you to know that you have an established intuition, that you have this, you can trust your instincts. You are established enough and that you don't need, you can take charge and you can instigate the change in your life that you see fit, that you want to instigate. And despite whatever else is happening around you, or whatever it is that other people are doing, or no matter what it is that they are doing, that no one can suppress you. Like, don't allow other people or other things to suppress you in any way. Don't allow that to... You've got armor enough to withstand it, is what I'm hearing. And that actually you don't need anyone behind you in order to make the things that you want to create a reality. That you have got everything inside of you to create the reality of your dreams. You are an abundant being. You have got this ability with this moon and also this magician card to tap into your unconscious, to listen to spirit, to have that guidance, this safety in the universe, trust that it has your back, but also with this artist to transcend to different levels, to imagine worlds. I'm seeing and hearing from The Greatest Showman, the A Million Dreams right at the beginning, like the dancing lights and creating worlds and with that childlike curiosity out of nothing, out of thin air. And this is almost what this person says, is that you are this seeker, that you have this rare gift and this rare ability to see the beauty in the world and see the world in a completely different way, to dream up and conjure things, and you have this ability through this kind of like childlike joy to reach for things. And actually you're not a child in your intuition. Actually, that is such a integral part of you and you are very strong in it. So even though that reaching hand of that childlike energy, exploration, that expansion in terms of creativity and that stirring up of that intuitive energy, even though that feels like something which requires that kind of let go feeling and that vulnerability and that play, that doesn't mean that you're not experiencing it, and that doesn't mean that you can't trust it, and that doesn't mean that you're on a different level to everyone else. It's like that, the thing of everyone being tested in the same way at schools, like asking a fish to climb a tree. It's that, is that you are different, and that is a strength. And actually what you are different in is an incredible strength to have, and you should have courage in that and know that you are so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. With this magician card, this person sees that you can wield anything it is that you want, any instrument at your disposal to create the reality of your dreams. And we've got all this major cards here in terms of the artist, the devil, the world, and the magician. And it feels like you don't need to dance to the illusion of what everyone else is doing, or maybe what this person is doing, that you can break free and that you have got your own path ahead of you. We've also got, in terms of signs here, we've got fixed signs. So again, we've got Leo, we've got Taurus, we've got Aquarius, and we've also got Scorpio. Sorry, I didn't mention Scorpio. So potentially those are signs as well, but that doesn't necessarily matter. Like I said, it can be a lovely confirmation if you do, but if not, no problem. But with this devil card, it feels like you don't need to be repressed by what everybody else is doing. I feel like this person, for some people, I'm hearing a very specific message for a group. Maybe this is someone who is no longer with you at the moment. And maybe with this moon card, that they are a part of your spiritual team, that they are with you in that sense, and maybe they are with the universe kind of in your corner in that way. This may not be for everyone, but with that weight of truth, maybe there's still a heavy weight of that without their presence. So this message may be that what they wish that you knew is more general in that sense, as opposed to maybe a physical relationship on this plane, as it were. But I feel like this person wants you to know that with this Three of Cups, not to get involved in draining relationships, not to listen to the chaos or the conflict that arises around from everybody else's opposing wills and desires, or worrying about what everybody else is doing. You're not dancing to the same tune, and that's the power of the devil, is illusion, is making you think that you need to go after something or choose something that actually doesn't make your heart glad. It's that feeling of what everyone else is doing, or what seems like the sensible option, but is it something that you feel? And that's what this person wants you to know, is that you have this ability to create the change that you want to, and you are kingly in it. Like you wear a crown. You don't need anyone to tell you what it is that you're going to do. You can create that for yourself. And with this artist, you're creating worlds, you're creating different things that other people may not be able to conjure up. Or like I said, you see the world in a different way. Your calling is different to everybody else's. And that is a blessing, that isn't a curse. Even though sometimes it can feel like you're the other or the wild card, and that you feel suppressed by the weight of other people trying to almost zap your energy or drain it, because you feel like you're constantly having to explain yourself. But you don't. You can step away from that and have that self-confidence, that self-esteem, and realize that what they're creating around you, that humdrum, is their opposing wills and desires and their fears and anxieties. That they are projecting that almost onto you, because they are almost intimidated by your ferociousness after what it is that you are going for. And that it's okay that if the people that were in your corner, or the people that you called friends, if they don't understand it, or the people that you are really, really close to, they don't. It's okay. And it's okay if there's things that people are doing that you don't want to do, or maybe you fell into the trap of. Maybe there was a kind of a test in some way. We spoke about tests earlier. Maybe there was a test in some way which you feel like you failed. Maybe you felt like you fell into a trap and you stopped yourself from doing something that you wanted to do. And that's okay. You can learn and you can grow from that. Forgive yourself. The weight of truth, maybe, that you could have stopped it, or things like that. It's okay. It's how you move forward from that moment. And you are continuing to go through cycles with this moon card, continuing to go through phases. And the illusion here as well is that it is coming through with that devil card. Sometimes you may not be able to tell from a friend and a foe in the dark. Maybe sometimes there is that confusion and we don't know who we can trust, but you can trust yourself. And I think this person is saying that you can trust them, and that they can maybe see the things that are going around. And maybe if they feel like they've contributed to it in the past, but they admire you and they don't want you to hold yourself back. And maybe if they did suppress things in the past, or maybe they said even some hurtful things with that weight of truth. Maybe they were people that said or did things that created a kind of a chaos in your mind. Or maybe they were really close friends, or family, or chosen family that now you're not close with. They still admire you, and they admire you for being able to go after the things that you want, even when they almost don't feel like they can, or they're dancing to the tune of something else. And actually you have a great strength and tenacity, and they know that you're going to be doing great things. And I think if they ever threw any obstacles up for you, they're sorry for that. Or if they can see, and maybe they are a player on your team, maybe they are part of your support network, they are always there even if you didn't choose them. Even if you moved away from them or you lost contact with them, they are always still in your corner if you need them. They're always there in the wings. And maybe that's where that feeds into someone who may have passed away, for that group of people. If you feel like that's, if you felt like that resonated, this person is maybe not physically there, but is always with you, always by your side. And with the chameleon in the corner over there, every single phase, every single change of cycle, but also that's linked to spirit animals as well, and also like kind of the spiritual team. But the main message of what they want you to know is just how powerful you are, and that your differences make you you. And the things that you see and the things that you can create in your mind and the world that you envisage, but also the things that you seek and the things that you want to go after, that raw potential. Trust in it, trust in yourself. And the truth that other people throw onto you, or the things that they feel are truthful, or those words, those thoughts that they put into your mind, the things that feel like they suppress you from being free, from joyful, you do not need to take on those burdens. We have those voices, that inner critic that people fuel, those stories that we tell ourselves. Sometimes we can filter out that which doesn't serve us, and things that people say or do, it's like we're almost bulletproof against them. And then sometimes there's a chink in the armor that just gets under our skin because it's an old story that we used to tell ourselves, or we still tell ourselves, and someone identified it. And that can be really, really difficult to move past. And it says it on the card, by the hands of unworthy people of your light, of your power. And this doesn't mean that they always have been like that. Maybe they are supportive people or were supportive people, but maybe they tested your patience, or maybe they led you down a path you didn't want to go down, or pressured you into doing things that you didn't want to do. Or maybe they've changed, or maybe you have changed so much that it feels like there's this dark night of the soul in some ways, where you may have outgrown people or situations or a path, and that's okay. This person wants you to know that that's okay if that's what's been going on, and they're sorry if they've contributed to any pain or ache, but they see the potential in yourself and in you, and where it is that you're going, and that you've got this kind of unbridled faith in the universe that things are going to happen, and they know things are going to happen for you. They know that you're going to reach your goals and your accomplishments in this world card. I think there's this feeling of like you're out of this world, that you have these ideas, these brilliant nuanced ideas, and things are happening, and they understand maybe why you had to take a step away, potentially, but you are manifesting what you want through this Magician card. You are powerful, you can wield whatever it is you want, and you are abundant, and you are going to bring all of the things that you deserve to you. And they're sorry if they caused you any distress or led you down a path, or if their lack of presence maybe made you feel like you fell into different hands. Maybe they couldn't be there for you through something, and maybe they're sorry that they couldn't do that they couldn't be physically there, and that you got caught up in that illusion. But they want you to know that you're so strong, and you are that instigator of change, and you don't have to, you can quiet those voices, and you can find your center, and they're there with you. Even if this is someone that's physically there, like, you can always reach out to this person, and their lessons, their teachings will be with you too. But if you ever need advice, they're there. They're there to point you straight and narrow, to almost tell you the truth in a lot of ways as well. Not the truth of what they think, but the truth that you need to hear is that you are this person, that you are powerful. And I'm keep hearing growing pains and growth. And maybe it's them that's doing the growing, or maybe it's you that's grown away from them or situations. I feel like some people, this could be a situation at school or at university. It may not be for everybody, but I'm hearing a specific message of like a dorm mate, or someone maybe you shared a house with, or were just like best friends with, or something that maybe you're not now. Maybe there was bullying that went on, is something that I'm also hearing, but that doesn't define you. How you move forward and how you grow away from that, and how you have that like how you can find your get up and go and your confidence in yourself and your own abilities. You're not defined by what someone else thinks of you. Your self-worth is so much more important. Your belief in yourself and what you can do, that courage and that willpower and that determination, is that thing with action that will help you create the dreams that you want to create. And no one can break you down if you have that love for yourself, because that love will dispel that fear that they potentially put there, or that anxiety that they can create. And don't stop seeking better people than that as well. Maybe you're worried that other people are going to do the same thing to you, or are going to have similar thoughts, or shoot you down and things like that. There are people that will understand you, and I feel like this person, maybe they didn't understand you at the time, but maybe they do now, or they can see this situation from afar and they want you to know that they are there and they understand you and they want to be there for you if you want them to be. But the artist is so pure and beautiful and can create, like I said, these worlds out of nothing. So beautiful, it's such a nice card. And maybe you're even going into a profession where you're going to be thrown into the spotlight in some way, and it's almost like the world watching. But don't forget that core of who you are, that creator in that artist, that raw material side. But again, with this, you are safe. It's like the cosmic egg, as in the world card as well, and it's that victory, that sense of accomplishment and goals. Keep where it is that you are going, what you know that you are meant here to do, and what you feel that you are being called to, and don't let anyone deter you from that. You are limitless. And if your physical reality is displaying that chaos, or people are projecting onto you, find your center and find your alignment, because that will reflect in your external world. If you don't lean into the conflict, if you don't listen to it, if you have that state of calm and you know and you're confident in your abilities, that will start to show outward. And maybe that's what you've done, and maybe that's what this person is proud of, that they realize that they've done those things in the past and that they were a contributing factor, and they see how strong you are and how you rose up against that and everything that happened. But there is just this power that radiates from you, and this person just knows that you should have heaps and tons of self-confidence in the things that you're going for, because they know it's going to happen, that you're going to manifest them. And spirit as well is coming through with a message, because obviously we've got the universe has your back, but we've got these major cards here. And it's, if you feel alone at the moment and you've asked about this person for what they wish you knew, it's also a message from Spirit that their higher self, maybe even in the reality, maybe they haven't taken on that lesson or that kind of thing, but their higher self can recognize your higher self and Spirit and universe's plan for you and what it is that you're going for. Sometimes people with bullying or sometimes people putting fears and anxieties, it doesn't necessarily have to be bullying, fears and anxieties onto you. Sometimes it's because they don't understand you, and it's cruel and harsh, and you know, hopefully we unlearn these things in our lives of like, if you know, I was bullied as a child, and I know so many people go through that in different ways at different times. Sometimes when you're an adult, and it's tough and hard, and sometimes it's just because, sometimes it's jealousy, sometimes it's envy, sometimes it's you can't make a justification for what it is, but it is from the other person. It's not from you. You are being yourself, and if you're being true to yourself, and that is all on the other person, and you have the power to make that something small and to not allow that to rule or to take away from your power. You can make that insignificant to your life, that situation. It's hard and it's tough, but you can allow it not to carry the weight over you and move forward and allow it to be like, to have it from them, because then that hurts them, that they're firing this energy at you and it's like you're bulletproof and things are flying off. You're not allowing it to affect you because you're meant for bigger things. You can turn your head away and focus on the things that you want to create and the things that you want to do, your goals, and you can rise above it, and you're safe in that embrace of the universe and within yourself, in your body. So my glorious friends of pile 5, I'm going to leave this reading here for you guys today, but it was such an interesting reading for you guys, and whoever you asked about, or if you didn't ask about someone in particular, I hope it resonated. And I'm sending so much love to you guys. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I really hope to see you guys there. I'm sending so much love. Bye.